Bonsoir! I am the maitre d' to this restaurant bottoms.com.com. Do you have a reservation with us tonight? No? That is okay. I shall just explain to you the bottom 4 things about the restaurant experience so you do not feel like you're missing out. C'est bon? C'est bon. Now, dining out can be a stressful time. Maybe you don't know what to wear, perhaps you're on a blind date, or you're just concerned that the head chef is actually a rat and or a raccoon controlling someone with zero cooking aptitude. But there's plenty to love about eating somewhere that isn't home. For example, there's the ambiance, unlimited sparkling water, and of course, not having to do the dishes. But let's circle back to the negatives though, since we are covering the bottom 4 things here today. Not every restaurant is going to be a 5-star, Michelin award winning, straight out of the movies experience. No. Some will be train wrecks for things that are just out of your control. But if you show up wearing Asics and a Metallica tee, then that's on you, my guy. That date was only gonna go one way. Poorly. However, if you showed up, to quote the poet Andre 3000, looking so fresh and so clean, anything that happens outside of that scope can be attributed to, and I'm quoting the poet Drake here, God's plan. Even if nothing out of the ordinary were to happen, I feel like there's just some things about the restaurant experience that we can just do without. So, let's slap on those bibs, sharpen those steak knives, and get chomping with number 4, tablecloths. No, I'm not talking about the concept of tablecloths in general. That would be silly. Instead, I'm speaking about the unspoken tension between yourself, your meal, and keeping this pristine white tablecloth clean throughout the duration of that meal. Now, your boy eats fast. Having worked in this industry, you don't always get the time to sit down and savor a meal, so you kind of just gotta slop it back and get back to what you're doing. Which means after a while of doing that, every meal becomes kind of like those TikTok songs that are very popular right now. Sped up. Now, most places that have nice tablecloths also have tasting menus, which gives you between 5 and a dozen opportunities to spill some red pepper coulis everywhere and just destroy the place setting. Once again, these are almost always white, and most food isn't. And if there's a sharing course, then you better have spoon race winning hands to avoid spilling meat juices everywhere, because people will notice, and they will judge. Number 3, having a fly land in your soup that only you can understand. Here. Close your eyes. Now imagine you just sat down to enjoy a lovely bowl of cream of asparagus soup, and out of nowhere a magical fly comes down and starts speaking to you in an ancient tongue about how it needs to find the talisman known only as Swata. A talisman that's key to opening up an interdimensional portal to help it get back to its home world located in quadrant 2124 of the multiverse on the planet Arth. This is where a war is being raged between the fly species, the Diptera, and the evil-to-the-bone Toad people who only want conquest and to feast on the flesh of the humble and peaceful Diptera. Time is of the essence, lest Arth be conquered and fall to become part of the Toad's multi-planet imperium. Naturally, this fly is going to sit right there in the middle of the soup to tell this story, therefore ruining the entire appetizer. Which leads us to number 2, which is telling a waiter that there's a fly in your soup. Social interactions can be a tricky minefield in the best of times. Now, you have to talk to someone who through no fault of their own had to take this bowl of inedible slop back to the kitchen, who also have to get involved to make a new bowl of lovely cream of asparagus soup, sans fly, and carefully bring it back to you, holding back a river of profanities behind a dam of pleasant professionalism. And during this whole interaction, the fly from earlier, whose name we now learn is House Fly, discovers that Swatar was behind the swinging doors next to the large box of mints that the servers grabbed from to bring to you, the guest, along with your bill. Turns out that this restaurant is built right where the cosmic streams meet, forming one of billions of multiversal hubs that connect dozens of other universes used by ancient sages who through deep dedicated study have learned to traverse in order to find a universe that has mastered the art of true peace, so they themselves can live in harmony without war. Unfortunately, in House's universe, the Toad have recklessly tried to traverse these streams themselves, leading to dire consequences. Consequences that can rival the repercussions of inaccurately, number 1, knowing how to tip. Seems like this number just goes up in random intervals, doesn't it? And then some places will add autograd, so do you like tip on top of that? Like that's crazy. Even crazier than the portal that is open in the kitchen that will transport House back to Arth to end this chapter of his journey. Unfortunately for him, war continues to rage back home. The Dipterian armies maintain morale in the face of the much stronger Toad forces. What the Toad forces don't realize is House is returning with something that will shift the tides of this war once and for all. For the mints located next to Swatar contain vanilla, a substance poisonous to the Toad that he will replicate and use to great advantage. Upon his return, he will no doubt tell the sages that our universe is not the key to everlasting peace, because 12%? Really? That's not even an option anymore. You have to physically choose to tip that low. Come on now. Yeah, so that just about does it for bottom 4 things about the restaurant experience. If you enjoyed this, maybe hit the like button, subscribe, send this to your favorite maitre d'. I'll just go ahead and pencil you in for a reservation same time next week. All right, fantastic. We look forward to seeing you then. Have a great morning or afternoon or evening or whenever you're watching this. See you next week.